Alright, what's up guys? Today we'll be looking at an Atlantean combo video using Prince. You can use this card to get to several end boards. Let's have a look. So first he's going to normal summon the Prince. He uses the ignition effect to send bodyguards from the deck to the grave and add a Dragoon to your hand. Bodyguard's effect is going to trigger special summon Mermail Pike. Then Mermail Pike on summon effect is going to trigger discarding the Dragoons that you added earlier. So add the Spirit. Then Dragoon's going to trigger. At this point, it doesn't really matter which Sea Serpent you add. You just want something in hand to discard. But seeing that we're going to need a tuner for this combo, we added Minstrel because she's a level 3 tuner. So now you're going to use Spirit, send in the Prince from the field to add Adrian. Triggering Prince effect to special summon Dragoon from the grave. Now you're going to use the 2 level 4 Sibyl Bahamut and go into Toad. Now you're going to add the Mooning Glacier. So now you're going to use Agent's effect to send the water that you added earlier from Dragoons to special summon herself and an Ice Jade token. Now that you have 5 bodies in the grave, you can special summon Moonin, ripping 2 from your opponent's hand. Now you're going to link summon using the Bahamut Shark and the token into Coral. Coral is going to special summon the Bodyguard. Bodyguard is going to discard to turn all your monsters on the field to level 7 monsters. Now you're going to use the Mooning Glacier and the Bodyguard to summon Gaius. And you go from Gaius into Poseidon Abyss. Now you link those 2 off, Poseidon Abyss and the Link 2 to special summon the Link 3, triggering the Abyss to special summon 3 level 3 or lower Sea Serpent, Aqua, or fish monsters from your grave. And now you're going to use Minstrel effect to mill your deck, trying to hit a water. Well, it's a water deck, so most likely you're going to hit a water. And that's going to trigger the Mermail King's effect to add an equip from the deck. So you're going to add a new equip. Now you're going to use those 3 bodies and go into any Croc 9 right here. I'm going for Croc. Croc is going to draw me 2 cards. And then you're going to use the equip to special summon any one of the level 3s from the grave. So you can use as Synchro material. So now you go into Adrian. You can also go into the Ice Bearer Synchro 10. So now you're going to banish that from the grave in order to reset your resources. Alright, so now for line 2. Instead of going to Croc, we're going to summon Trish. Trish is going to banish 1 from the hand. So now your opponent is down 3 cards. And you're going to use the equip spell to perform your synchro summon again by summoning back 1 of the 3s from the grave. Alright, so now for this line, instead of synchro summoning into a 9, we're going to use the Adrian to synchro summon into a 10 first, and then use the 2 remaining monsters on the board to XE summon into a round 3. Now that we summon that monster, we're going to add the trap. It's pretty much blackout for Atlanteans. Now you're going to use the equip spell to reborn the Gaius. And you're going to use the second effect of the Xyz monster, targeting himself and the Gaius, and taking 1 material from himself and putting it under the Gaius. So now you have a Toad, a Gaius, and whenever you use your Toad's effect, the Link 3 is going to search your deck for an equip and either add it to your hand or equip it to himself, which that will get you to the Mizuki. This isn't the final list, it's just an idea, something you can start from, but it has all the important cards that you need, which is Prince at a full playset, Minstrel at a full playset, Bodyguards, Dragoons. You have 2 Pikes because Shadow Bodyguard only specials from the deck, so if you open a Pike, you'd want to know that you have a second Pike in your deck so that the Shadow Bodyguard could special it. 1 Spirit, it doesn't really matter if you draw it or if it's in a deck because you're going to search it. 1 Marksman, 1 Infantry. I'm thinking of cutting the Diva because it makes you die faster to the Nip. Anyways, 3 of this card. It adds you either this, or this. Then you're going to have the 1 Mu. He discards stuff. Like, that's pretty much all he does. summon to discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand. The 1 Adrian for the Synchro 10 plays. The Ice Bearer girl and the Ice Bearer guy. So what she does is your opponent, when she's summoned, your opponent can only activate 1 spell trap each turn. So, and this guy is kind of a skill drain. The trap that the Xyz added, one of the new equip, 1 Mizuchi. Which I said you can, if you use your Toad's effect, the Link 3 can equip this in your opponent's turn. So you don't really have to add it in your turn. And the rest of the deck is just really like cross-out targets and a 1-for-1 to get the Prince. You have 2 Abyss, 2 Coral, 1 of the King, 1 the Atlantis for board-wide plays. Once you lock yourself underwater, you can just the Atlantis, the field, and you're pretty much good. 1 Gaios, because as you can see, you can either put it back in the deck or reborn it using this card. And if you haven't used the effect of this card to banish itself to reset cards, you can always add it back from the grave with the King. I think it's supposed to be here somewhere. Yeah, you can add it from the deck or grave. So yeah. So this dragon, well, Sea Serpent, I mean, adds you the trap, and it can fuel your Gaios whenever you reborn it from the grave using the equip. So you can just take a material from it and attach it to Gaios. And the following turn, you can either do the same thing again, or you can just add back a card from your grave to your hand to extend your grind game. Bahamut Toad, we all know what they do. This card, if you summon this card and equip is in the grave, you can always banish the equip, putting back 3 cards, triggering him. You must have your opponent must have a monster or a card on the field and in the grave in order to activate the effect, bro. Adrian protection plays. So if you're going up against a deck that is prone to use Raigeki or Dark Hole, you can just use this and all your monsters are protected pretty much. Against Ashtiras, it's pretty strong because they can't banish any of your cards face down, any of your monster cards face down. This is another 10 you can go into using the Adrian. So if you summon this, you'd have access to discard from the deck and discard from the deck, which are pretty impressive. You have the space so on board, so it doesn't really matter because after you use your Toad, you're gonna have 2 spots, and after you use the trap, you're gonna have 3 spots. Or if you use the trap first, then you're gonna have 2 spots. Then afterwards, the Toad. And if they remove it, you can always trish them in their turn. Croc is another plus card. It draws you 2, and it's an interruption in your opponent's turn. So discard 2 and pop. So for example, if you have Infiltrate in hand or even Marksman, and you send either one of them another card to pop a card, you basically get another pop, and it also triggers this guy to equip from the deck as well. So, or grave. Yeah, if you already open Mizuchi and then you equip to him, and in the end, in their opponent's turn, they use a spell and Mizuchi's off, and then you just say, okay, I'm gonna use Croc. Then you can just equip the Mizuchi again, and I think it's live. Yeah, it's live. So you can get multiple negates if you open this card. So it's not really bad to open it as long as you have starters. And this card is in the side. I'm just testing it out. So if you're going against heavy graveyard reliant decks, you can build this guy. You just summon this on your second summon. So you summon Raiho, then you summon this, because unlike Raiho and Medium, that doesn't care. Once you're on the field, their floodgate is live. This guy has to have another Ice Bear on board for him to shut off the grave, pretty much. Seeing that you can banish cards using Minstrel, you can use Prima Donna to pretty much lot them out of the game with a statue, because you can also go into Synchro 7 plays, because instead of reborning the level 3s, you could reborn a Minstrel, a Spirit, and a Prince, and so you can just go 3 and 3, 6 and 1, and that's a 7, and you can just do whatever. I was testing 2 of the equip spells, but at this point, I'm not sure if I should, but it's not really bad. Yeah, so that's it for the video today, guys.